Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we'll be completing a special transport delivery here in the Louisiana DLC, hauling an articulated hauler from here in Shreveport, and we're going to head down to Baton Rouge today, a route that, by the looks of the map, should start out a little bit easier, but then get more challenging towards the end. So without further ado, let's get our Peterbilt 389 started up and get on the road. This Peterbilt 389 is running a Caterpillar C15 engine, which is a free Steam Workshop mod by Jerry. It sounds absolutely incredible, and I'll have the link for it down in the description below. All right, let's get rolling. And actually, we have to try and get out of here, which the game did not give us a whole lot of space. It literally parked me right along the edge here, and then we've got the, well, vegetation line here, and we've got to get this articulated hauler around what looks to be the curbing of this, and we are just in the trees, and we don't want to hit the barrier there. That was mighty close. We got to keep a lot of space, or at least try and keep a lot of space on the inside, because, well, this is also an 8x6 chassis on this 389, so it does not turn the greatest to begin with. Well, regardless of the trailer lengths. Hopefully everyone is doing well. I certainly am. It is great to be back here in American Truck Simulator doing another special transport DLC delivery. There are a few new routes here across the Louisiana DLC. This is one of them, obviously from Shreveport down to Baton Rouge as we're going today. A wonderful delivery indeed, and we'll get to see some beautiful areas of the Louisiana DLC, of course, hauling along many roads that we haven't been on before, at least in many areas as well. Maybe seen glimpses of it in previous episodes, but nothing to the extent that we're going to be seeing today. As I said, it looks like it should start out a little bit more straightforward at the beginning here, and then it's going to probably get a whole lot more complicated because it seems like the road network gets a lot tighter near the final delivery point, at least according to the map. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, and assuming the AI doesn't do any weird shenanigans with us today, well, that's another factor we have to keep in play. Could go smoothly, could go, well, a classic special transport delivery here on the Prime Simulation channel, which is pretty much chaos. As I said, it's great to be back here in ATS and, of course, back here in the Louisiana DLC. Still got more content coming here in Louisiana, of course. There's a few other places we haven't been to yet. Monroe being main one, and then Homa as well. Haven't specifically done deliveries in those areas. Really want to make sure that gets checked out very soon. So those cities will be coming quite soon. Don't you worry about that one. But I am driving the 389 once again today. A truck that, well, we'll probably talk about here once we get out of Shreveport and, well, talk about some of the future of the Peterbilt brand here in ATS, because it's a hot topic. It's a topic that I've talked about before, but it's been a little while since. We should probably bring it back now that we're nearing the end of 2025. And again, I'll talk about that in a few moments' time. But can we just appreciate Shreveport here and the beautiful downtown section? Absolutely wonderful here in the Louisiana DLC. And I'm hoping the game figures its life out a little bit here. I'm going to be honest. I've been doing a ton of testing with the performance ever since 1.57 and the ongoing issues that I've talked about in previous episodes. I have still not come to a conclusion. I do know this particular save is running a broken truck that is just a Western Star 57X, I do believe, that I cannot sell, and I'm going to have to go into the editor and actually delete that, remove that from the save. But I've tried to do some cleanup. Hasn't really noticed a tangible difference, at least from what I can tell. Again, changed graphic settings up and down. Did not make a difference. The inconsistency is still there. Occasionally, well, right now, we're running perfectly fine. Back there, it was fine, and then it just crashed, and then it, in terms of frame rate, and then it decided to come back. It's okay. Generally speaking, according to the videos that I've done recently, it's not crazy noticeable. I think the quality settings that we're running anyways here in the game compensate for the potential lack of consistency. So I'll take it. You know what? It may not be the most perfect thing ever, but it's not also the worst I've seen ever. So I think many of you will agree with that. So we've got to make a lane change maneuver here. and I'm assuming very soon our rear escort vehicle should get over. Yep, there he goes. So we're going to make a slight drift here as well. So hopefully the front lead vehicle goes over. Indeed, they do. And we're going to try and get some speed rolling so this doesn't take an absolute century. Can we just appreciate the sounds of this beautiful C15 engine? An engine that I've actually done in the past, if I remember correctly, but it's been quite some time. So I wanted to bring it back, and of course with this 389, it's a, well, shall I say, legacy pairing for the 389. That is definitely a great combination and a wonderful free engine mod available on the Steam Workshop. Safe for you to install. Thank you, game, for that lovely hiccup. It's nice, easy mod to install, completely safe and great to use in your trucks if you haven't done so already. So talking about here was the 389, I think is a great point of conversation because it's something I've talked about a little bit in the past, to be honest with you. Well, I say a little bit, quite a bit, but it's also something that admittedly I've said my piece on quite a while ago and was hoping that there'd be a new development regarding Peterbilt trucks in general here in American Truck Simulator between that point and where we sit as of recording this video. So what do I think about the 389 now, and I guess the 579 as well, but then realistically what's going to happen with the Peterbilt trucks and so on? I really think at this point where you just have to expect a brand new model basically of Peterbilt trucks in American Truck Simulator whenever that's going to come. I think the days of a 389 rework, as the police decide to slow down here again. Thank you. We're not even doing our target speed limits and it's breaking us on the middle of a straight stretch on the highway. Ah, lovely. Isn't it just lovely? Special Transport. Love-hate relationship with this DLC, my friends. I love the deliveries. Hate the AI that go along with it. But that's okay. I think we're past the point of seeing a 389 in particular rework with the existing models that are here in ATS. I think we're long past that. I feel like it's going to be the situation of what the Volvo VNLs are in the game, for example. Even the Freightliner Cascadia, where there's, say, on the Freightliner Cascadia, the Freightliner Cascadia 2019 version versus the next gen, the 5th gen Freightliner that is just the normal named Freightliner. Same with the Volvo. I think it was like a 2014 version of a Volvo VNL, and then obviously we got the brand new Volvos a while ago now, but still that idea where the old version will stay, new version comes in and becomes the, well, quote-unquote standard. So in that sense, I don't think this 389 at this point is ever going to actually change. What I do think will happen is that we'll see the new version of this truck, which is the 589, if I am correct, what's being produced by Peterbilt currently, and hopefully a tuning pack to go along with it. Obviously, 389s, W900s are two of the most popular modding trucks in North America. Now, there's many other models, and I know many of you will put in all the different models in the comments, I'm sure, or correct me if I am wrong, but you understand where I'm going with this. Whether it's the 389 or the 589 or some of the different models that fill in the gaps, they are some of the most popular modding trucks in North America and some of the most popular trucks on the road in terms of owner-operator fleets. They're your quintessential American truck, and that is fantastic. And unfortunately, here in American Truck Simulator, the Peterbilt end of the bargain has not been holding up so well because, well, I say that in terms of the brand in ATS, not per se the brand relation otherwise, because we don't know that. The W900, for example, has the tuning pack. Well, the only tuning pack available for ATS as it stands, and is newly updated, or at least more recently updated, that's for sure, and has plenty of customization options and allows us to really hone into that customization owner-operator well, market, really, in the trucking world. As the cop does another brake check for no apparent reason. Thank you so much, game. You are lovely indeed. Oh, there's going to be a lot of sarcasm here, friends. This DLC, as much as I try and ignore the things that happen, it's going to happen with my reactions because I can't avoid it at this point. They just frustrate me a little bit. That's no lie there. Anyway, so I think at this point we can expect the 589, if I am correct in that model, and a tuning pack hopefully to come along with it. And then obviously 579 next gen, I guess, is some of the other modeling, or there's other ones as well that we could be seeing. But again, I think the days in the timeline of a 389 rework is pretty much over, and I have a feeling what we're seeing here, which is not bad, but even quality-wise of, say, like the dash and just the overall, well, modeling of it, all credit, is older and a lot lower quality than some of the newest trucks that we have in the game. Is it terrible? No. Do many people enjoy these trucks anyways? Yes. But does it live up to the current standard and expectations, to be honest with you, that we know and love of the game with recent additions? No, it does not hold up to that. But I think it's not going to change at this point. And unfortunately, when can we expect a Peterbilt truck in? Well, that's a fantastic question, and one that I unfortunately don't have the answer to, and I will find out as soon as you do as well. I'm most certain of that. At this point, it's looking more into 2026. I won't lie, I was slightly... Oh! Brake check. Why? Why? There's no one ahead of you. I'm not speeding. We're still going below the speed limit because this car ahead of me, like the lead car, won't actually go the speed limit that's allowed in the game. And here I am just having the brake check with, oh, I don't even know how much weight on this loadout. 97,000 pounds of articulated hauler or off-road dump truck, if you want to call it that. I've got that much weight plus truck and trailer behind me, and they're slamming on the brakes because they can't go in a straight line. If you're looking for a Prime Simulation crash out, you're just about to get it here today, friends. And hopefully, hi everyone in YouTube short land and TikTok land in the future. Hi. Because you're gonna get a few clips from this video. I can surely guarantee that one. And Editor Prime is going to have a whole lot more fun rewatching this and sectioning that out than content creator recorder Prime, which is the same person, but still, yeah. I am sorry, friends. I can't avoid the reactions with these cars, and I know many of you share the same reactions with this DLC. The routes and cargoes are fun to do. They are a challenge in many cases, and it's different in terms of a delivery. It's not your standard thing. They're predefined routes. Great. But why do the AI in this game seemingly have to get worse as time goes on? Now, are some of the AI movements realistic? Yes, because traffic is traffic in real life, and they do their own thing many times, and that's just the way life is. You can't control everyone. But this is different, and especially when you have a lead or escort vehicle in a heavy haul scenario, who in their right mind slams on the brakes and slows down for no apparent reason like this, because the truck ahead of us is now probably going to come to a near stop because the cop is blocking here, even though they should just continue rolling along, is just the name of the game. And at least we've got a lane change procedure here, assuming I don't fail that one as well. The AI portion and the vehicle portion, yes, it's never going to be perfect, but it is definitely the biggest drawback of the Special Transport DLC, and the reason why I know many of you, although will do it, share the same thought process as I do, or in some case, just basically give up on deliveries after a while because they just are so incredibly frustrating to try and deal with that you're never actually going to get anywhere with it more consistently. Okay, with that rant aside, let's go back to peaceful mode. Where I was going with where was I going with? I even completely lost. Like, my whole train of thought was the 389 went out the window because of the rant. Talking about next gen 389. I don't know, 589. I think it's just at this point we have to expect a new truck, and when that will be. Oh yes, this is where I was going with that. There we go. Prime Brain finally got around to it, figured it out. Loop back in the before the fog of the rant. I will say this. I was really hoping that with the release of the Louisiana DLC, or at very least around the release of the Louisiana DLC, we were going to get a new Peterbilt truck. Mainly because of the promotional card for the Louisiana DLC itself has a Peterbilt truck, well, what looks to be a 389 at least, on it. I was really hoping that was going to translate into something, well, more beneficial in terms of a truck launch for us here in ATS. Obviously, that did not come to fruition, at least as of recording this video. Although there's still time left in 2025, the odds are significantly decreasing that we're going to get something before the end of this year. But I was very hopeful in the back of my mind that something could develop out of that. Now, unfortunately, I was wrong, and I am often wrong. Obviously, I do not know the timeline of things, and that's very much a possibility when it comes to the things I say around here. But everything I say is my opinion, and I'm never said to be correct. Regardless, I was hopeful. I was honestly hopeful as an ATS fan that we get something in terms of a Peterbilt update, something that is long overdue and much required. But again, that did not come to fruition. Does that mean in 2026 we could still get something? Well, we could. Is it likely at this point? I'm going to be honest with you. Probably not. There are so many other things on the horizon for ATS, and it seems like the truck editions, and that cop car is literally in the map. Nice. It really does seem like, for whatever reason, truck editions are becoming harder and harder to get quicker in the game. And I get there's a ton of licensing and so on. But there was a period where we were getting new trucks frequently across the year, which was absolutely fantastic, and I was never going to argue with anything, and it was great to see. But that has definitely slowed down now, and I get it. You know what? There are many brands in the game already, and that is fantastic, and many great new brands. But for example, when it came to the T680 line with Kenworth, how long did it take us to get the full T680 lineup in ATS compared to the special edition that was said to, the full lineup was supposed to come out only a few months after the release of the special edition, but it took, I think it was like a year and a half or so, right? That was pretty significant. And again, does that align with some of the things that are going on with the Peterbilt side of things, given that it's all part of the PACCAR group? Are there things behind the scenes going on? I can only speculate. Either way, we need a new truck here, I would say, for the sake of Peterbilt. Again, I will take anything SCS software provides. They always do it for free, which is fantastic. But as a pure ATS player, or fan, I should say, as a pure fan, I would love to see the Peterbilt brand get something new here in the game. Stock, not a mod. Again, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But again, in the meantime, we'll make do with what we've got. A truck that is still pretty decent, all things considered, and when you pair it with a fantastic engine mod like today, it definitely helps it out a lot. Now, I must say, it has been a beautiful drive so far across the Louisiana DLC. If you haven't picked up the Louisiana DLC so far, which I know many of you have picked up the DLC because it is absolutely incredible, I am going to say it is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend it if you haven't done so already. And I know many of you will be waiting for it to go on sale, which is also a smart move for those who have budgetary concerns. But you will not be disappointed, I will say that. So many great industries, wonderful, wonderful cities, and details in between. That is the biggest thing. And again, for those who've been around here for a while, you know how much I absolutely love the different detail levels that come in between, well, everywhere else, and especially here on these side roads. And I'm really happy this Special Transport DLC route does a nice blend of highway and, well, again, these more state roads. It's fantastic to see. I always am hesitant when it comes to seeing games that, or routes, sorry, here in Special Transport DLC that are purely highway. I get that that happens because of the size of the loads, the complexion and height restrictions. Often highways are the way they have to go, but it doesn't mean that these deliveries are any less. And I would say having a delivery like this is actually more, in the sense that you get to see so many of the really unique areas and a little bit more twisty-turny, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Go across some really unique bridges, go across some different countryside. That is wonderful to see overall. And it really makes me excited for the future of ATS as we continue to move east. The general architecture of this region and the scenery, mainly with the environmental side of things, can only really get better as we continue to move east, to be honest with you, with just how geography is when looking at the US. There's so much more diversity as we continue to move eastward with some of the different regions, and could get pretty scenic as we go. And so it really makes me excited to see the continual improvements in the graphics quality, albeit ever since 1.57. We've had a, well, some people have had a significant performance impact without seemingly finding answers. And I will say that the DLC overall, though, like for most days, has been performing just fine. And at this point, I honestly cannot tell you if it is the game, my computer, or something else in between that is causing the problems. I really can't. It's hit and miss. And at this point, I am unsure where the limitation is. For example, I have Task Manager open right now, and nothing is performing out of the ordinary. However, in terms of like capacity, I should say, on the components within my computer. But when it comes to the game performance itself, it is significantly fluctuating. Fluctuating more than I've seen it do in many recent episodes, that's for sure. And across other testing as well. Recording and not recording, the results are the exact same. Keep in mind, I've spent a number of years now fine-tuning settings on this particular system with no hardware changes. And it had been rock solid for the entire time. One singular update broke that across the entire region of the ATS map. It broke that inconsistently, though, because it doesn't always happen. Like, for example, now it's running a bit smoother again. Very similar activity happening in the scenic area around, but it fluctuates from being locked at 60 frames per second the way I know and love it, and then going down to high 40s or even mainly low 50s at its worst, which again is not terrible. I'm not going to complain. But at the same time, as the comp decides to break again, at the same time, this is also a major part of my content creation. I enjoy when the video quality can stay quite high, and I know many of you don't really notice this, which is absolutely great, but I have a pretty high attention to detail, believe it or not, and I really want to make sure that things are running as great a quality as humanly possible for the sake of what I've got. And when this comes out of nowhere and there's something what seemingly I can't control and no one really has a direct answer for, it is frustrating. It is truly frustrating, and I wish it wasn't the case, but it is, and we just gotta roll with it. But I appreciate everyone who, well, isn't noticing it too much and isn't bothered by it. That is great, and it allows me to be able to focus on some of the other things for the channel that are, well, in development and coming very soon for different content diversification and locations and so on. There's a lot of great things coming in 2026 for the channel. I talk about it all the time, but again, because this is not a full-time gig, it takes some time for me to try and get some of these things done on the, well, back-end side, shall we say. But they are coming. They are coming slowly but surely into a quality that I am going to be happy with, and that is, well, what matters when it's all said and done. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for what Prime Simulation will continue to grow to. Again, this is a hobby of mine. This is a passion of mine, and I want it to succeed as best as possible. And thanks to you, it is doing incredibly well. This 2025 here has been incredible run with over the recent releases with Nordic Horizons and Louisiana, where we're here today. It has been incredible. No doubt about it, and I appreciate everyone new to the channel as we're closing in on 11,000 subscribers extremely quickly, or maybe when you're watching this video, it may already be way past that. Hopefully this video has found you well, whatever it may be, and overall, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for what 2025 has been and what 2026 will be, because I know you all are incredible, and this is only getting started. I've been around for a number of years now. I'm creating a reputation for myself, but this is special. This is something special coming soon, and it's only going to continue to become even more special as it goes. Well, I guess we'll go around the cop here because he's blocking the way scale. So we're going to come down here. Look at all the lights happening around here. Big old to-do with all the different cop cars and the media and so on. And a big crane to get the articulated hauler off of our trailer when it's all said and done, even though it could probably just drive off the lowboy when you detach it. But you know what? Don't need to argue with the game's physics. Or logic, I should probably say. Thank you all so much for watching. What a fantastic episode here in ATS, despite, well, the few rants that I ran on today. But what else do you expect from me? Things happen like that. And hopefully you enjoyed the video overall. It is great to be back here in Louisiana. The DLC itself is fantastic. The Special Transport DLC is fun, if you have a lot of patience for the AI. And I know many of you do. I try to, but there are some things like what happened today that it just can't avoid. Comment down below what you thought about today's episode and what else you want to see from me here in the Louisiana DLC or across ATS as a whole. And be sure to hop into the community Discord if you haven't done so already. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.